So let's say that you're in the market for a brand new or a used Honda Goldwing. Should you go down to your local Honda dealer, or should you consider maybe traveling to save a lot of money and ride that motorcycle back home? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on Garage Talk. So you can help make this podcast a real success by taking a second and click that subscribe button down below. Don't forget the notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when we come out with these new videos. And if you like this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. That really does help our YouTube rankings. Okay, let's get started. So hey everybody, welcome back to Garage Talk. This is our second episode. I am very excited to welcome to the show the Director of Operations of what may be the largest Honda Goldwing dealer in the country, maybe the world. So Kyle Downey, welcome to the show.
Hey Chris, thanks for having me.
You bet, thank you. I understand your dealership is located in East Ridge, Tennessee, which is pretty close to Chattanooga, right?
It is. So East Ridge is just a city within Chattanooga, basically. So we're
okay.
right
So
on
like
the
a suburb. Okay.
That's right. So we're in the middle of Chattanooga as soon as you come across the Georgia line.
Now, I understand I just went to the website today and did a little research. Apparently, you're a Honda powerhouse dealer. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I wonder if you could explain to everybody what's the difference between a powerhouse dealer and just a regular dealership where you go buy a Honda Goldwing.
Absolutely. So we became a powerhouse dealer. It's been 2 years ago now. 2 years ago now, we became a powerhouse dealer, and we came from a level 4 dealership to a level 5. And so the difference between level 4 and 5 gives you that powerhouse status.
Okay.
And so
is that based on sales?
It's not necessarily based on sales. Sales absolutely has something to do with it. American Honda as a corporation will ask you to become a powerhouse dealer once you have a higher volume in sales. But the main thing is it gives you what's called auto inventory replenishment. So Since we're talking about Goldwings, I'll use that for an example. If I sell a Tour DCT Goldwing today, in 2 days, I'll have another one arrive on my doorstep and ready for sale again. So that's the benefit of being a powerhouse dealer.
Okay, so you basically have priority on supply.
That's
whereas
correct.
A typical Honda dealer may have to wait a month or whatever to get additional.
That's right.
Okay. And I understand you have 100,000 square feet. It sounds like it's huge. I have not been to your dealership, but I understand it's a huge facility.
It is. It's 100,000 square feet total. The showroom takes up about 70,000 of that square footage. The rest is shop and PDI and, of course, warehouse space.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of inventory, total motorcycles, how many Goldwings do you guys normally, or do you have right now in inventory?
So currently Goldwings, this is including Goldwing Tour and the base Goldwing, we have 37. I've got an additional 45 DCT and 45 6-speed tours incoming.
That's pretty impressive. Because I know for a couple of years there, after the pandemic, there was it was tough to get inventory. It's tough to get product.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, what was that like? I mean, it had to be a killer.
It was. So you as a dealer, or we as a dealer, had to learn to kind of reinvent the wheel, right? So COVID changed all of our lives. And it still has, truthfully, with pricing and things along that nature. But what we did as a dealership, because we do cater to Goldwing riders, is we went out to dealers who may not ever sell a Goldwing. And we found out, okay, if we can find maybe 10 Goldwings on 10 different dealers within an area where they're off-road heavy in their sales, we could dealer trade them one ATV and get all 10 units. events. And
Right.
so we started doing that, and it allowed us to at least keep the doors open.
Wow. So was I even close to being accurate? Are you the largest Goldwing dealer in the country or in the world? How does that
We
play out?
are definitely in the country. The world, I would be lying if I said I knew, but we
Okay.
put more gold wings on the street than any other dealer in the country.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. And how would you Goldwing sales, let's go back to like before January of 2020, before the pandemic. Where are we now compared to then? Are we clawing our way back? Is it better than it was last year or the year before? I mean, what's happening in the market?
So it's absolutely getting a lot better. That's the good news. Is it going back to where we were pre-COVID? Not necessarily, because factory incentives aren't there yet. But the good news is we are getting back there, and we're seeing increased sales due to increased inventory. Lots of people that previously would tour on their Goldwing, specifically out of state, they are now getting back on bikes and going back out and going to those restaurants, going to wherever they wanted to end up on the ride.
A lot of people I've talked to have bought their bikes at your facility. I have a good friend, John Struhar, who I think was a customer of yours, and
Absolutely.
had nothing but good things to say about your dealership. I've never actually heard anything negative about Southern Honda. It's always been good. I personally bought my Goldwing. I live in Dallas, Fort Worth. I actually drove 300 miles to buy my bike because I got a better deal. And I know that a lot of people travel, to come in from out of town to buy a Goldwing because it's a touring bike. You can ride it 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles. You could ride it all the way back home. I'm sure that happens a lot. How is your dealership kind of position? I know maybe Honda has some restrictions where they don't want you taking business away from other Honda dealers. I don't know how that works, but obviously part of your business is people coming in from out of town, buying the Goldwing, getting a favorable price or a favorable deal. How do you see that part of your business?
So that's majority of our business actually is from out-of-state customers. We obviously do a lot of in-state, but Southern Honda is positioned in Chattanooga for a reason. It's within a day's drive of majority of the motorcycle community. So they can come up within a day or maybe 2 days, stay and go ride. We have the Cherahela Skyway close. We have the Tail of the Dragon very close. And those roads are well known within the motorcycle community. And majority of our business does come up not only because we are the best price, but because of our location.
I hadn't thought about that. I'd forgotten that you're right there, just miles away from some of the best riding in the country. I mean, it really is.
So gorgeous up here.
Couldn't ask for a better location, I guess. Tell me about DCT sales on the new Goldwing versus manual transmission, because you said earlier you had about 45 more bikes coming in DCT, 45 manual, like a 50-50. Is that normal? I would have assumed that the DCTs were outselling the manuals. How has
They
that
are
been
way
working?
outselling. So
Are they?
we are probably 15-1 DCT over 6 speed.
Oh, wow.
In 2018, whenever the bike was released, it was truly a 50-50 split. But as more riders have gotten on the DCT, which is an amazing motorcycle, they've learned that they love it. And we are seeing a lot of trade-ins off of 6 speeds to DCT, and it's a 15-1 split currently.
That doesn't surprise me. I have the DCT. I absolutely love it. I have a good friend that he had a manual transmission and was sold on that. Really wasn't interested in a DCT. Then he got an Africa Twin that has a DCT. And now he says if he ever goes back to a Goldwing, he'll probably get the DCT because he really likes that DCT.
It's so funny that you say that. Majority of Goldwing riders around here locally have Africa Twins as well, and that was the bike that got them into the DCT.
And we have a lot of viewers and subscribers that have multiple motorcycles. Some have BMWs, some have Africa Twins, some have, I'd say about 70% have Goldwings. A lot of them have touring bikes, but a lot of them have adventure bikes. What can you tell? Can you tell us a little bit about the new Africa Twin?
Currently they haven't released much about the new Africa Twin. We haven't seen a new twin, in over a year. I do know that there are some changes coming, right? So you have the Adventure Sport and then the Standard. The Adventure Sport's going to be lower for 2024, and it's going to be more street oriented. So
Okay.
you'll see that within 2024, and the Standard is going to stay the same as it was in the previous years.
Okay, great.
A little
I think
smaller wheel and things like that.
yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be excited about that. I think there's a real, for some reason, there's just a big interest among Goldwing riders for the Africa Twin. I think it's a compelling bike. I think it's real interesting. How do you, if we went back to the 5th generation Goldwing, I know when Honda introduced this new 6th generation back in 2018, or at least our understanding was they were looking maybe to reach a younger demographic, a younger rider. A lot of the Goldwing buyers were aging out, I guess, of riding. I'm trying to be nice because I'm in that
Sure.
group. But, well, have you noticed a shift in the demographic? Is the 6th generation Goldwing buyer definitely younger? How would you compare the two between what was being bought back in 2017, let's say?
Absolutely. So the 5th generation Goldwing, there was a lot of guys, and they tried, I believe, with the F6B to get that generation that you're talking about, the younger generation. And they just weren't reaching that demographic. Going into 18, slimming that bike down and making it almost look like a sport tourer, they did reach it. So we are seeing a lot of guys my age. I'm 34. I personally love to ride a Goldwing Tour. I'm still on the 6-speed. I haven't made the switch to the DCT yet, but we are seeing a mix now of younger guys and then the same demographic that they had previously. A lot of guys coming off of Harleys that are young guys trading into the Goldwing.
Yeah, I always thought, this would be a perfect transition for somebody even coming off a sport bike, because they want to go into sport touring, but they're getting a little bit of, maybe they're 40 years old, whatever. They want to start doing a little touring, but they still want that sporty feel and that sporty look. And that I always thought the new Goldwing kind of would serve that purpose. And I think Honda hit the nail on the head on the styling and the engine and everything. The DCT, I think, is really pretty brilliant, pretty good move.
I couldn't agree more.
We sort of hit on this, but do you see the supply issues improving overall? I mean, I know that for a while there you just couldn't get Goldwings from Honda, and I don't know if the drop in sales and I'll call it a recession in the industry. I don't know if that's accurate. It wasn't just Honda. I think it was a lot of just the overall industry. But there was a big demand for Goldwings and nobody could find any. I tried to get a 2022 in blue and I couldn't find one anywhere. Do you see that ironing itself out? Is it getting better?
Absolutely. It is better. I now have machines not necessarily sitting on my floor, but I have them on my floor, where before it was like you said, there was 100 people lined up for a blue DCT, and as soon as we made the phone call that, hey, we got one in, we sold it, and now we've got 110 lined up waiting for the next blue DCT. Now we're starting to see a rotation of inventory. We're running about a 30-day turn on our inventory. So Honda as a corporation has definitely stepped up, and they are providing enough inventory for dealers now.
You mentioned 30-day turnover, and that brings up a little bit more of a inside baseball question, I guess, as far as what dealerships have as far as carrying cost of your inventory on your floor and everything. How is that affecting business right now? Because I know interest rates are kind of crazy.
Interest rates are high right now. However, it's for Honda, it's simple interest. So anything over that payment that you're paying goes straight to principal. And hypothetically, you can purchase that rate down. So if you double your payment, If you have a 6% rate, you now have a 3% rate. But Honda is doing some promotional rates right now as well. So you can get a Goldwing as low as 4.99, which is that's a pre-COVID rate.
Yeah.
But
Okay, that's good.
it's good so far.
You know, back in when I bought my bike in 2018, dealerships around the country, certain dealerships, yours probably included, it was very common to see pretty deeply discounted prices on Goldwings. Whereas here in the Dallas area, it was basically MSRP. They're not high volume dealers here like they are where you are. I guess my question is, if I live in Dallas, Texas, or if I live in Tulsa, or if I live on the West Coast even, and I'm interested in purchasing a Goldwing or any motorcycle, I would assume it'd have to be a pretty good sized bike if you're going to ride at home, unless you have a trailer. What's the process? What do we call? Do you do it through email? How do I get the best out the door price? What would I do as a buyer?
So one thing that we pride ourselves is in transparency. So we're going to give you that best price right out of the gate. We're a little over $3,000 off the MSRP on some of our Goldwings now.
Okay.
And what happens is it's whichever way you're more comfortable with, whether that be email, whether it be a phone call, or even texting. We want to be the Chick-fil-A of dealerships, and we strive to be that. So a lot of our customers, they'll call and say, hey, I'm looking for this black DCT. How do I do it? And so we will FedEx paperwork overnight. They will FedEx a copy of their driver's license back within that paperwork. And then we can set up a time for them to come either pick the machine up or even have it delivered. There's so many carriers now looking for business, and they'll deliver it. One of the benefits, though, is you're not going to have to worry about getting into our back office or talking to our finance manager, and all of a sudden we've tacked on all these dealer fees. We just don't believe in those. When you see the price on our website, that's the price. There's not going to be anything other than your local tax added to that.
Good deal. Good deal. And do you have any kind of facilities for, like if somebody flies into Chattanooga and they want to come to your dealership, pick up a bike and ride it home? Is there, I know you sell a lot of bikes to people, like you said, out of town. Mm-hmm. Is there Uber transport? How would they get to your dealership from the Chattanooga airport, for example?
Absolutely. The salesperson that they have dealt with from the beginning of the transaction will personally come and pick them up.
Oh, really? Very
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay, that's great. And, it's a pretty good size airport, so it's easy to get to.
Easy to get in, easy to get out.
Can you tell me a little bit about your service department? Even though I know if you buy it out of town, you probably don't necessarily, you're not going to bring the bike back 3,000 miles to get service. But,
sure.
But there's a lot of people, a lot of motorcyclists live within your area, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, all in that area. Tell me a little bit about your service department.
So we have 8 technicians currently within our service department and 2 service riders. Same hours as the dealership's open, so that's Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 6. You can just show up if it's something simple, tire change, oil change, normal maintenance, and wait on your bike, and we'll even give you a demo to ride and go see the city while you're waiting on your bike to be worked on. We're always running some type of a service special, whether it's right now it's tires. There's a gentleman that shops here at the store. His name's Charlie Brown. He's pretty well known in the community. And he just turned 77, so we're doing a pair of tires for $577.77.
Oh, very cool. Do you guys do a fair amount of trike business?
We do. We have a large clientele of trike business.
And what brands do you, or does it matter? Do you sell any brand, or is it California Sidecar, Hannigan? Who do you?
So currently we are California Sidecar and Motor Trike. We do business with Roadsmith as well. All 3 of those bikes are fantastic trike.
What about accessories? I know that kind of gets into your parts department, but if somebody buys a new Goldwing, a lot of times that's the time they're most likely to want to have accessories added to that bike before they drive it off the lot, before they come pick it up, perhaps. How does
Sure.
that work?
So we are a huge Gold Strike dealer. We have a whole wall dedicated to Gold Strike. We have some show chrome stuff. We have previous generation, and we do keep those parts in stock at all times because, like you said, typically when you purchase your bike is when you like to get it added on. And with our pricing the way it is, we hope that. So we want you to add as much as you can to it. We want to make that bike yours, and we want to do it and have it ready for when you pick up. So if you were to call me today and say, hey, I'm looking at this DCT Goldwing, and I really like those Revco pegs, I can go right into my parts department, grab those, and have them bolted on before you even hit the building.
Nice, nice. And can you tell me a little bit about your used bike business?
Sure. We have a huge selection of pre-owned bikes. We are rebuilding. Currently, we were rebuilding our pre-owned selection due to COVID, right? So during COVID, you could get top dollar for your trade. You still can get a good number for your trade, but we are seeing that change a little bit. And so we had a lot of pre-owned bikes that we were in very deep, and we sold those for dead cost just to get out of them. And we are rebuilding that pre-owned area right now. But we take all of our bikes in on trade or purchase them from local automotive dealers. Reason we do that is because in the past, when we purchased from auction, we found out quickly we were picking up somebody else's problem.
Yeah,
And
right.
so we didn't want to pass that problem along to our customer base and ruin our name. So we only take trades, and we purchase from local automotive stores that have taken the trade.
Well, I want to just thank you for all this information. It's been really great. I know that a lot of our viewers have probably purchased a motorcycle from your dealership, and if they haven't, now they'll know about it. And I would encourage anybody to check out their website. It's southernhonda.com. And Kyle, I just want to thank you so much for taking time to join us on the show today. You're just our second guest. This is just the second episode, so it's brand new.
I'm so excited to be on here with you, Chris.
Yeah, and I understand y'all are going to be doing a podcast pretty soon. Is that correct?
We are going to be doing a podcast pretty soon. We've got a lot going on right now. We're about to celebrate our 20th year. And so we're doing that on April 6th. We're going to give away a DCT Goldwing on that, actually. But somewhere along that line and that time frame is when we plan to introduce our podcast.
Okay, great. Well, thanks again for joining us today. And everybody check out their website, southernhonda.com. And thanks for joining us on Garage Talk.